The step we can take towards securing the future of our nation's economy is to better educate the children of our cities today. These words, spoken by James J. O'Connor, Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of Unicom Corporation, reflect literally his actions. In 1986, when Cardinal Joseph Bernardine saw the strengthening of Chicago's inner-city schools as the greatest opportunity the church had to serve the city, he turned to Mr. O'Connor for help. Together, they created the Big Shoulders Fund. Mr. O'Connor, a graduate of St. Ignatius High School and Holy Cross College, recognized the need to provide quality educational opportunities to disadvantaged youth. An active member of the Chicago Urban League, Catholic Charities, and numerous other civic and charitable organizations, Mr. O'Connor also understood how to unite others in generating support for improving Catholic education. Cardinal Bernardine and Mr. O'Connor designed the Big Shoulders Fund to provide support to Catholic schools in the neediest parts of Chicago. The funds were earmarked for scholarships, special education programs, equipment, facility improvements, faculty support, and operating grants. To date, corporations, foundations, and individuals have pledged $43 million to Big Shoulders, of which $39 million have already been distributed to the schools. Today, Big Shoulders assists 104 elementary and 23 high schools, serving nearly 40,000 students. During the 1994-1995 school year, Big Shoulders provided more than $3 million in direct assistance to Chicago schools and saw its endowment grow to $15 million. The availability of Big Shoulders assistance gives Chicago's inner-city families the choice of a quality, value-centered education and a compassionate learning environment. And the benefits of Catholic education are more important now than ever. As they always have, Chicago's Catholic schools face the difficult challenge of serving the needs of immigrant families who come from countries as diverse in custom and language as Laos, Nigeria, and Mexico. With the help of Big Shoulders, schools are obtaining the resources to meet the needs of these families and preparing the children of these families to take a responsible, productive place in American society. James O'Connor's leadership, dedication, and caring has given the families of inner-city Chicago new hope. Because of his leadership of the Big Shoulders Fund, Catholic schools receive the generous support they need to continue serving the leaders of tomorrow. By the age of 15, Iselina Foray knew she wanted to dedicate her life to God. She traveled from her native Puerto Rico to Philadelphia, where she entered the religious order of the Missionary Servants of the Most Blessed Trinity. Later, her mission work carried Sister Iselina to the Appalachian coal mining region, to the Portuguese immigrants living on the Cabo Verde Islands off of Cape Cod, and to the Puerto Rican neighborhoods in the cities of New York and Long Island. After almost 20 years of working with the less fortunate, Sister Iselina returned to New York for a much-needed rest. Her sabbatical was short-lived, as she quickly became active in Brooklyn's Dr. White Community Center. There, she began working as an intercessor, mediating between Black and Puerto Rican gang leaders and the city's juvenile justice system. While fighting to keep these youths out of trouble and out of jail, Sister found the personal mission that would occupy the rest of her life of service. Thereafter, she dedicated her efforts to delinquency prevention built on community involvement. When she returned to the Puerto Rican city of Ponce, she continued her work with at-risk youths. La Playa, a section of Ponce, had the highest delinquency rate, highest rate of high school dropouts, high unemployment, and extreme poverty. With a handful of volunteers in La Playa, Sister Iselina founded the Center for Orientation and Services, which would later be known as the Sister Iselina Foray Center. At her center, she worked to develop a comprehensive multi-service youth program. She felt the best way to rehabilitate delinquent youths was not to punish them, but to educate them. Today, the success of her 3 centers in La Playa, Guayama, and San Juan can be measured in many ways. One of the best is the dramatic drop in La Playa's juvenile delinquency rate. In a report to the U.S. Congress, the Eisenhower Foundation used her center as a model to follow in revitalizing communities and controlling the problems of drug addiction and violence. Sister Iselina's lifetime of love and dedication to her brothers and sisters has been widely recognized. She has received 10 honorary degrees, 48 prestigious awards, and the key to the city of New York. In addition to running her centers, Sister serves on the Governor's Council on Drug Addiction in Puerto Rico and the government of Puerto Rico's Task Force on Mental Retardation. Throughout her 5 decades of ministry, Sister Iselina has demonstrated an unceasing commitment to social action. She has said that work is not work, work is love, and we must help and serve each other. In 1993, the University of Notre Dame awarded its oldest and most prestigious honor given to Catholics, the Latari Medal, to Donald Keough, saying that his genius has ennobled the arts and sciences, illustrated the ideals of the Church, and enriched the heritage of humanity. Mr. Keough earned this honor for his service as chairman of Notre Dame's Board of Trustees. Applying his legendary business and marketing acumen, acquired during his 42 years with Coca-Cola, Mr. Keough led the board during a very significant period of the university's history. Under his leadership, $463 million was collected during the Strategic Moment campaign, more than had ever been raised in the history of Notre Dame. The campaign transformed the university with 45 endowed chairs for distinguished faculty, over $50 million in a financial aid endowment to support a select yet diverse student body, and new world-class facilities for teaching and research. These new facilities include DeBartolo Hall, Rolf's Aquatic Center, and the College of Business Administration, as well as the restoration of the Basilica of the Sacred Heart. The only American who serves on Ireland's Industrial Development Authority, Mr. Keough is also on the Irish Prime Minister's Economic Advisory Council. A noted philanthropist and statesman, Mr. Keough was named Irish American of the Year by Irish American Magazine. Mr. Keough retired as president, chief operating officer, and director of the Coca-Cola Company in April 1993. His charisma, spirit, and outstanding management skills remain a part of Coke's worldwide success today. Having been retired for only 1 day, Mr. Keough became chairman of the board of Allen & Company Incorporated, a prominent New York investment banking firm. His greatest investment, however, remains his dedication and generosity on behalf of Catholic education. Once, most education took place in the schoolhouse, where books and blackboards were the tools of the trade. In today's electronic age, Bishop Donald Wuerl has taken a leading role in using technology to enhance Catholic education. Pittsburgh's Bishop Wuerl has long been recognized throughout the Church as a force in Catholic education. A distinguished service professor at Duquesne University, he has also served on the boards of his alma mater, Catholic University at Westminster College and St. Vincent Seminary. His diocese is active in the Extra Mile Education Foundation, a community-wide interfaith effort to maintain Catholic inner-city schools. His Pittsburgh diocese sponsors the Golden Apple Awards, rewarding $50,000 annually to outstanding teachers chosen by their students and peers for achieving the highest standards of excellence. He is also credited with founding the Bishop's Education Fund. Established in 1985, the goal of the fund is to provide Catholic education for every child with a desire to attend Catholic school, regardless of their financial limitations. Bishop Wuerl announced a $10 million gift to the Bishop's Education Fund from Seton Awards Gala Chairman John Connolly at last year's NCEA Seton Awards Gala. While he remains a steadfast believer in traditional classroom teaching, Bishop Wuerl has harnessed the power of multimedia communications. If he looks familiar, perhaps you've tuned into his weekly television program, The Teaching of Christ, which reaches thousands in Pittsburgh and across the country. The bishop's efforts to spread the work of Christ also include a number of catechetical publications, including The Teaching of Christ, as well as video presentations on the faith, such as Exploring the Teaching of Christ and the soon-to-be-released Review of the Catechism of the Catholic Church. The new catechism is of special interest to Bishop Wuerl, who serves on the committee for the implementation of the Catechism of the Catholic Church, as well as on the Bishop's Committee for Sapientia Christiana. The bishop also has taken a leadership role in encouraging schools of choice legislation that would benefit children throughout Pennsylvania.
Through all his efforts, Bishop Wuerl has earned our gratitude for his leadership and contributions to Catholic education at all levels and in all settings. John Albers once said, "You can't take somebody who doesn't have a solid educational background and expect them to make it. Education is the key." Apparently, Mr. Albers received the educational foundation he needed as a student at Cretin High School in St. Paul. He certainly made it by even the highest standards. A former advertising executive, Mr. Albers rapidly built a successful marketing career, culminating in his election as chairman, president, and chief executive officer of the Dr. Pepper 7-Up companies. He is credited with designing the $700 million merger of Dr. Pepper and 7-Up in 1986. In 1987, the Christian Brothers and the Sisters of St. Joseph of Carondelet also merged to create what is now Cretin-Durham High School. 2 years ago, Mr. Albers found a memorable way to say thank you to his alma mater. The Albers Challenge, as it quickly became known, was one of the largest financial commitments ever made to a private high school. Originally set at $2 million, Mr. Albers increased his pledge to $3 million after the initial overwhelming response. During the first year of the project, more than $2.6 million was raised in the fundraising match, and individual donations reached an all-time high. School officials fully expect to achieve Mr. Albers' goal of $4.6 million by 1998. The funds raised by the Albers Challenge will be used to improve the school's physical plant, increase teacher salaries, expand tuition assistance, and retire debt. A lifetime advocate of Catholic education and proud of being a brother's boy, Mr. Albers has also provided generous support to De La Salle High School in Minneapolis. And with his leadership, Texas too has been a recipient of Mr. Albers' generosity. Dr. Pepper 7-Up established a program benefiting students at St. Philip's High School in Dallas, and the Dallas Academy now has a beautiful new sports facility due to his enthusiastic support. Clearly, for students at Cretin-Durham Hall and these other fine Catholic schools, John Albers is just what the doctor ordered. During the past 10 years, NCEA has been a driving force behind a renaissance in Catholic education. And throughout this landmark decade, Sister Catherine McNamee has been in the forefront. Sister Catherine began her presidency preparing for the visit of John Paul II. She paved the way for key meetings between the pontiff and Catholic educators. Later, she joined religious and educational leaders to discuss the apostolic letter on Catholic colleges and universities, Ex Corde Ecclesiae. To further strengthen Catholic education, Sister Catherine and NCEA assisted the U.S. bishops in writing a strong statement underscoring their support for Catholic schools. The National Congress on Catholic Schools for the 21st Century was a focal point during the McNamee years. This conference brought together key leaders to chart a course for Catholic education for the 21st century and beyond. The very first Seton Awards Gala was held during this groundbreaking event. Working towards the future, NCEA and USCC launched a national marketing campaign for Catholic schools. The result is a dramatic increase in enrollment. The association also commissioned a Gallup poll which showed that 70% of Americans supported an educational voucher system. Throughout this decade, NCEA has advanced multicultural and multiracial collaboration, joining with the National Black Catholic Congress and other key leaders. NCEA also began an annual national DRE convocation, attracting parish directors of religious education from 39 states. During Sister Catherine's tenure, religious educators in dioceses nationwide began using the new assessment of Catholic religious education. The association also has initiated many research projects on seminaries, parish catechetical programs, schools, and a strategic planning program for Catholic higher education. The latter included a major conference this year. During her tenure, Sister Catherine has broadened the vistas of the association through leadership in key national and international associations. She has led delegations to several countries at the invitation of their educational leaders. An ardent spokesperson for Catholic education, Sister Catherine has appeared nationally in the broadcast and print media. Her fluency in Spanish has enabled her to reach out to Hispanic Americans via interviews. A strong proponent of partnerships, Sister Catherine leaves NCEA having launched Mission 2000. This project will help ensure the continued strength and growth of Catholic education. Sister Catherine once described Catholic education as a beautiful, colorful mosaic. She will be remembered as an artist who helped this nation and the world appreciate the brilliance of this exceptional work of art.